Alright, hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite movies, and today I'm going to do a scene-by-scene analysis on my latest short film, which is called Dreams of an Empty Street, and the subtitle of the short film, which is the preferred title, is Within Her Arms, Softly, Gently. But I had to name it Dreams of an Empty Street so that it sounds a little bit less perverted, you know? But the better title would be Within Her Arms, Softly, Gently. So yeah, I right now, as I'm filming this right now, it is July 7th, 2021, 4:42 p.m. And the day I finished filming this short film is actually almost an entire month ago. That is June 9th. And the reason why it's taking so long is not because of the editing, but because of everything else that comes along with the editing. So of course, okay, I'm already talking about post-production now. I'm already skipping ahead of time. First of all, this is going to be a long video. If you're not a huge hardcore cinephile, if you're not an aspiring filmmaker, you would probably find this incredibly boring. But I think it is important for me to talk about my own experience at making this short film. The writing, the planning, the filming itself, the editing, and everything that comes along with it. It's educational, you know? But yeah, it's been a whole month. I spent like 4 days finish editing the whole thing, but we still have the sound editing and the sound mixing and the color correction. And if I want the color correction, I'm still waiting for the DP's LUT file. I haven't received that yet, so I can't do color correction now. And I still have subtitles to do. I still haven't finished the end credits, and there are still some edits here and there that I have to fix. It's a very complicated process. But anyways, Dreams of an Empty Street, scene by scene analysis. There are actually only like 4 scenes in this thing, so it won't take long. But honestly, the point of this video isn't really scene by scene analysis, but more so my experience in making this film. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about planning. So if you want to make a movie, there are 3 stages, right? Stage 1 is pre-production, stage 2 is production, stage 3 is post-production. Pre-production is also called planning. So stage 1 is the most difficult one and the one that takes the longest. So planning, of course, involves writing. So I think it was somewhere in 2019 when I had an idea of writing a story about a guy who wants to have a girlfriend so bad and wants to have sex so bad, he goes insane and fucking dies. And I thought this is a really good story idea, so I eventually had the idea of writing a story called The Virgin. Except The Virgin is a full-length feature film story with a lot of characters and a lot of build-up. So all at the same time, ever since 2017, I have been working on a short film script by the name of Conspiracies, which is a high school, I don't want to say the word high school, it's not high school, it's secondary school teenage drama that involves a lot of betrayals and lies, but it's none of that average teenage drama bullshit. It's more refreshing than that. Yeah, at the end I had to give up working on that because I just didn't have the money, didn't have the time, didn't have the resources. There are too many characters and the script is too long. So instead I opted for, unfortunately, I had no other choice. I had to work on a short film, about 4 minutes long, minimal cast, minimal production. I can finish filming it in 1 day, and that just so happens to be Dreams of an Empty Street. I started writing the script in February of 2021, and after writing it, it's completely different from the one that I'm doing right now. The first draft of the script has 3 characters, 3 scenes, where it's basically the main character, a fortune teller, and the female demon. And essentially the story is the main character is fucking depressed. He's like, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? He runs into a fortune teller. The fortune teller tells him to be careful because a female demon is around him. He walks away. He's like, bullshit, right? Female demons, Like, come on, are you crazy? You're superstitious? So he walks away, ends up in some alleyways, and then the female demon shows up, and he's like, oh my god, she's actually real. He runs away, and then at the end he's like, no, wait. Hey, at least the girl is approaching me. Like, that has never happened to me before. So at the end, he accepts his fate and embrace the female demon. Like, not really hug her, just like getting close to her, and then the female demon gets close, boom, disappear. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen my short film and you're already watching this video, what the hell are you doing? Spoiler alert. Yeah, that, and I did take inspirations from different movies. So there was originally a jump scare that is similar to the diner jump scare in Mulholland Drive, and the climax of the short film is literally the scene from I think Kairos, J horror film, which isn't even a film that I watched before, but I knew this scene and I thought it was incredibly scary, and I thought it's just brilliant. Might as well put it into my short film and, you know, test it out. Yeah, after tons of rewrites, especially in May, when I call this guy the short film guy, SFG, short film guy. He is like 30 years old. He has a kid already, has a wife, has a kid, and he's way older than me, and he's definitely more experienced in making movies than me. And he is one of the students in my you know what, I'm not going to talk too much about SFG, but short film guy, SFG. He became my producer. He agreed to help me and make the short film with me. So that is at around mid-May, I met up with him at his office, and we basically rewrote the entire script. So now, instead of having 3 characters, we have 7 characters. The main character and 6 girls. And yeah, the story isn't exactly what I intended it to be, but honestly, I think the newer version is actually the better one. It's still able to get my point across, and it still has that style that I want it to be, albeit it's less superstitious now and more, I don't want to say realistic, but more almost has a comedic flair to it. And yeah, the story now is way clearer. The main character has a goal, there's tension building, and that's pretty much just it. So fast forward, we finally got the casting. We got a PA, we got the actors, we got a makeup artist, we got the DP, we went location scouting also at the end of May, and then in the beginning of June, on June 4th, I met up with the actresses and actors, and we had a rehearsal, and then on June 9th, we finally went filming. And the place we went to for filming is Taiwan, ironically, which is a place that I'm somewhat familiar with because it's near my secondary school, which, if you know, is the scariest, darkest place I've ever known to ever exist. It's all in your head, bro. It's all in your head. But yeah, finally we went to Taiwan and film, and now finally I'm going to talk about the filming itself. But essentially the point I'm trying to make here is that the planning stage is the worst one. Every time you rewrite your script, you're gonna feel pain, okay? It's like killing your children. It's like hurting your children. It's like giving birth to children and then hurting them. Writing a script, pouring your heart and soul into writing a script just to realize that you have to change it and cut down characters, cut down scenes. It's painful, but every filmmaker has to do it. Otherwise, you're an amateur. So hurt your children. People are going to take this out of context, I swear. Okay, anyways, the production. So I'm using OBS to record right now. And using OBS to record my Premiere Pro software is actually not a great idea in this laptop, because this is a laptop after all, so it's going to be very, you know, it's just going to, you know, yeah, you know, this is the editing sequence, which is pretty cool. Look at this. Oh, I already accidentally showed a bit, you know, this is my name, Pinkek Douyin, screenwriter, director, Enoch lie. Motherfucker. Alright, so instead, I'm going to show on my OBS. By the way, again, let me emphasize, if you haven't seen the short film, what the hell are you doing? So, alright, there's a bit of an awkward shot. June 9th, early in the, not really early in the morning, at around 3 p.m. No, actually the filming started at 4 p.m. because most of the shots are actually at night. So there are a few shots that's sunlight. So at around 3:45, 3:50-ish, I arrived at the filming location, which is a little bit later than I'd expected. I mean, I'm the director. I have to arrive there early, okay? I'm the fucking director. I have to be the earliest, otherwise I would embarrass myself. Unfortunately, 4 other actresses have already arrived, but thankfully only 4. So everyone else, you know, the producer, the short film guy, SFG, his wife, the makeup artist, the DP, everyone else, they're all somewhat late. So that's a good thing. For me, you know, for my face. So I arrived there, and it's scorching hot. It was like 30-something degrees, and we were all sweating, and for a while. So okay, you know, it's best if I didn't bring any photos with me, but we were right at the side of the sea, and the makeup artist set up a chair, and she started putting makeup onto the actresses. The DP and the sound guy started setting up their gear, and we're about to film the first 3 shots of the first scene. The first scene only has 3 shots, and it's a bit of a montage shot. So as you can see, right here, this is the first one. This is the second shot we got. I'm filming this, right? This is the second one, and this is the third one. I'm sorry that I'm showing their faces, but by agreeing to be in my short film, I can do whatever I want with these clips, okay? Okay? I feel bad for them. Like, this script is actually not that great. I'm actually not confident about this, by the way. Even though I seem like I am confident about this, I don't. Chances are, this short film is garbage. Even though it's better than my previous ones, chances are, this is garbage. But still, experience. So this is the first shot, and essentially what happens in this first scene is that we have 3 girls. And originally in the final version of the script, it is a primary school student, a junior secondary school student, and a senior secondary school girl. Or if we don't have primary school girl, we can get a university girl. And essentially they're going to look at the camera and say things like, "Fuck off. I don't care about you. I already have a boyfriend." Essentially rejecting the main character. And the main character is literally the camera, staring at these girls, and these girls staring back at them. And close-ups, I want real intense close-ups, because I want my short film to open off like a punch in the face. So if my short film opens off with like a super wide shot, then it's like, okay, what's happening now? But if it opens off with a close-up with girls yelling at you, it's got to grab your attention. But anyways, this is the first shot we took. Not the first shot of the entire short film, but this is the first shot we took. About 3 to 4 takes. Great thing that we did rehearsal, because if we didn't do a rehearsal, it would have been disastrous. But at that point, all the actors and actresses already kind of knew what to do. So there's the first shot we did, there's the second shot we did, there's the third shot we did. As you can see, the colors now is still really bland because I haven't done any color correction. Yeah, there's the first shot, second shot, third shot, and then that's it. And it sort of matches the fourth shot. What's the term? Graphic match, where it's also similar close-up, you know, above the collarbone, hair like this. But instead of the girls yelling at your face very angrily in broad daylight, it's the main character staring at the camera very tiredly, very depressingly, and during nighttime. It's night and day, quite literally. You can really see the contrast. You can see how fucking defeated the main character is. Like, he's just staring at the camera. I love it when characters stare at the camera. It's just like, you, focus on my face, you. I just really love that. But this isn't the fourth shot we ever took. But anyways, we took these 3 shots. And between shot 2 and 3, right, some of the actresses and actors went back to the car where the air conditioner is on, illegally, of course. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to record these actors and actresses' voice and sort of have them whisper around because I want a sound clip of when the female demon shows up. It's going to create these, you know, spooky, whispery sounds. It's almost like ASMR, but stacked on top of one another, sort of like white noise. And it's nothing that innovative or anything, but essentially I want to do something like that. So inside the car, there's a sound guy, and the sound guy was, I think at first the sound guy was pretty, like looking down on me. But yeah, we went to the car, and the sound guy was put a boom microphone. We turned off the air conditioner, closed all the doors, and we had like 4 girls in the back seat just hushing over the microphone. And we didn't do any of this in rehearsal, so I told them, you know, you can say whatever you want. You can say something in secret, and nobody would know because I would reverse it at the end when I edit the video. And you know, how about speak other languages like Japanese? So this girl, she actually sang some Japanese, and there's another girl later, this one in the car. Wait, is it her? I think it's her. She actually recited some Chinese poems, which is cool. I actually originally intended that. Now, the idea I had was actually in the 2020 DSEs, when I was revising like Chinese poems and passages for the Chinese exam. I was like, ooh, what if a person recites Chinese poems and Chinese passages so much so that the person turns insane and can only think and say everything in Chinese poem, in ancient middle classical Chinese. So what if the female demon makes sounds like reversed, hushed, whispered Chinese poem? Like that's such a cool idea. But essentially there's that. Okay, filming the 3rd shot. Extremely hot weather, first of all. Second of all, I didn't actually plan where the background is. So yeah, the background is blurred, which means it's pretty large f-stop focused on the face. And during filming the shot, or I think right after, the sound guy asked for my script. I gave him my script, and he just grabbed the script and used it to fan his face. And that was so rude. I don't think he forgot that it was my script. Luckily, I brought a spare, but still, he grabbed my script and used it to fan his face, and then he handed it back to me, which is kind of fucking rude, to be honest. So I feel like I have this inkling feeling that the sound guy is looking down on me, looking down on the director. I'm gonna also say one thing, is that in my previous short films, I, as the director, is silent as a stone. Very passive, but this time I was more aggressive, I was more outspoken, but still not enough. I need to be even more aggressive and even more outspoken next time. I need to really sound and act like a fucking boss next time. But anyways, these 3 shots were done. We're good. Now we move on to the next thing we have to film, which is actually all the way over here. Now these shots show up a little bit, okay. These shots show up a little bit later in the short film, and this is an imagination sequence, an FF sequence, where the main character imagines himself being in romantic relationships. And when I wrote the script originally, I intended this to be like 3 seconds long, and I didn't even want to film these parts. I originally wanted it to be like stock footage. Like, I'm just gonna go online and use these stock footage of like a boy and a girl hugging and kissing, just put in there 3 seconds, silence, That's it. But for some reason, after a lot of discussion with the short film guy, he said it's best to actually film the thing with the actors and actresses. And I'm glad we actually made that decision because we resulted with a lot of pretty good shots. But it is at this part where we're totally improvising. It's in the script, it literally says the main character imagines himself in romantic relationships. That's it. But everything else is completely improvised. So we have the main character essentially with this girl. Okay, so this actress, right? This actress. You can see here, she's wearing a blue jacket. When she arrived onto set, she was wearing a white shirt. And I was like, what? Why are you wearing a white shirt? I told them to not wear white because the female demon is going to be wearing white, unfortunately. So if any other characters wear white, it's going to clash. But she misunderstood that, so she wore white, and I'm like, shoot, what do I do? At the end, another actress lended her a blue jacket, so she had to wear that blue jacket. Even though it was really scorching hot that day, she had to wear it, unfortunately. But yeah, so large f-stop, high frame rate, and slow down. They're sitting beside the fence and they're acting like they are a couple, you know. And we actually filmed a lot of shots. At the end, this sequence is only about a minute long, but we actually spent a lot of time on this. But when they were doing this, they were asking me, the director, like, how should we act as a romantic couple? Like, what do you want us to do? And in my head, I'm like, I've no fucking idea. I've never been in a romantic relationship before. And there's just something really ironic about a guy who hasn't been in a romantic relationship before directing a romantic relationship. It's so ironic, so much so that this short film itself is a kind of performance art too, in a way, you know? So I'm actually glad. Like, in a sense, it's so ironic. There's something likable about this. But anyways, I didn't know how to direct them. I just told them to joke around, play with each other's hair, and I just let them improvise, you know? I want to see them be themselves, be natural, act natural. So as you can see, they were sitting on the fence, leaning on the shoulder. Okay, this is funny. So we went to another spot. So this is the area, right? We arrived here, and here are the 3 shots we took on the first scene. And then we took another shot, the imagination sequence right here. And then because the sun is literally going down and setting in the west, we literally had to move to another location where the sun is more visible and is brighter, slightly brighter. And so we moved to another spot where there's more water. There was a boat passing by, and people, like the actors, were just like waving towards the boat guy, the boatman, and it was pretty fucking funny. And the boat guy was actually waving back at a few points. All right. Now we have the second girl in the imagination sequence. We have 3 girls in the imagination sequence. This is the second girl. I originally wanted her to be the female demon. So on the day of the rehearsal, I drew their hairstyles onto the cover page of my script because I'm so fucking bored. And I actually thought she would be a good candidate. Like, first of all, she looks good. Second of all, she has black hair, pitch black hair, long hair. It fits. Third of all, there's something about her that's just so clean and innocent, you know? But ultimately, she didn't become the female demon because she couldn't film too late at night. So she became the imagination girl, number 2. So they're chasing... This was my idea, by the way, chasing Now that I'm thinking about it, it may not be a great idea because, you know, all these shots are very intimate, and then now we suddenly have a wide shot. A little bit jarring, but just a little bit, you know. Okay. Oh no, this is actually a third girl. The second girl we filmed is this one. Now this girl here, she is actually legitimately the girlfriend of the actor for the protagonist. So as you can see in these shots, they're for real loving each other because they're actually for real, legitimately in real life dating. And also, just a really nice shot of the main character just lying down on the lap of the girl. You know, it makes the girl more, you know, like I'm encompassing you. You know, playing with the hair. Okay, a kiss. Originally, I didn't even intend for the characters to kiss, but the short film guy is like, come on, you're the director. If you want them to do something risky, just do it. I think at some point the short film guy and like the DP and the sound guy even made a joke like, you know, have them do something risky, like I don't know, like a hand job or something. Like, but you know, all the actors are above 18, or literally 18, right? So, but yeah, eventually they kissed. Just a small kiss on the lips, you know, a nice shot. And then with the third girl, you know, we run over to the very western spot of that pier just to catch the sun. What eventually happened is that we went to this spot. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go to Google Map, and I'm gonna show you exactly where it is. Shoot. Okay, I can't even show that. Okay, it was right here. So, okay, are you showing this? Yes. This is the spot. No, the spot I arrived in. The meeting location, right? The meeting location was actually right. Shoot. Right here. This is the meeting location. This building. This is actually the office to Mingbo, which is one of the biggest newspapers in Hong Kong. Okay. Small car ride to here. This is where we actually set up the gear, and then the makeup artist right here. And there's a car parked like right here actually. And then the first shot, the girl with the blue hair is right here. The second shot is right here. You can literally see the background, right? If we go back here, this is literally the background, right here-ish. The third one is all the way over there, right here. There was a boat behind it. There was a red boat. And then another shot over there. That is the fourth shot, aka the first girl in the imagination sequence. And then because the sun was literally setting, and this happens all the time when you're filming, you're always chasing after daylight. Okay, so we literally had to move westward. Or actually we moved eastward to face the west even more. You get it? We moved eastward to face even more west. But yeah, we end up at spots like this, right here. So this is, well, at some point there was a police boat, and we were actually, I think we stopped filming at that point, but you know, politics and all, we fucking hate the police. So a police boat, and I was like, film it, like jokingly, and they're like, nah. But yeah, it was at this point when I really loosened myself, like, as the director, I really, like, say random shit, you know, like, oh, do this, do that, you know. Hilarious. And then at the end, we actually went here. This is like a dam of sorts. Okay. And at the end, for a brief moment, the sun actually shone on this dam. And so the short film guy, me, the DP, the sound guy wasn't there. These shots are silent. The protagonist and the third girl We actually climbed onto these rocks, and at first I'm like, bro, I didn't sign up for this shit. But at the end, I did. Like, they went first because they were courageous. I wasn't. But I went on here anyways, and it was insane. So we had these really beautiful shots of them. Okay, at this point, they were already on those rocks. And they were right there, and they were facing this side. And, you know, they just sat down on the rocks, and at the end, them holding hands, standing on the rocks. Pretty beautiful shots, especially the sunlight sort of in the middle, just you know, shining, and then it transitions back to reality. There was at one point where I told the main actor, to, you know, say some jokes, say something funny, and he pointed at, you know, those buildings, and he's like, you know, those low buildings, like, what are those low? And the girl was like, well, let's see, I don't know. And then the boy was like, Yip Lo, which is a reference to Yip Lo is the family name of one of the politicians in Hong Kong, who is very laughed at. And the girl was like laughing, and then he was like, look at those flags. What are those flags called? You know, look at those K. And then the girl was like, I don't know. And he's like, Che Sai K, which means which is a slang term for like erect, like an erect dick. And then the girl was laughing. I think I included, yeah, right here. This is exactly the point. Like he said the joke and the girl was laughing. And the sound guy and the sound guy wasn't there. The DP, the short film guy, were all laughing as well. But yeah. All right, huge break. Done. We're done with the daylight shots. It's crazy. We managed to salvage daylight, but we're done with all the daylight shots. Now we have the nighttime shots. Okay. This is where the nighttime begins. But between that, there is dinner. And so we had to find a dinner. Okay, so let me leave a little bit. So we actually walked all the way. No, we didn't walk. We drove. Like the short film guy drove his own car. And because like we're pretty big, it's only one car. So it was like 2 rounds of driving. So the girls left first, and then he drove back to get me and the DP and some other actors, and we drove all the way there, and then he dropped us off, and then he dropped those girls off, and he picked up those girls again, and he went parking at some on some street. Now we went to this restaurant, which is really near my school. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. We went to this restaurant, Zanximei. And at that time it was nighttime, and it was really near my school, and I just felt, you know how, you know, whenever I walk near my school, I just get trauma, you know, I just get PTSD. And at that point I was like kind of sad, you know. But anyways, we went in there, and I think I forgot how much I paid. I think it was $71-ish, but you know, I drank lemon tea, I got a bowl of rice, everybody got a bowl of white rice. And it was really clear that the waiters were pretty agitated when they saw like 11 people with like gear. No, it was left in the back of the car, but you know, 11 people just walking in the restaurant and just dominating the seats. Eventually, it was separated into 3 tables. I was sitting with the main actor, his girlfriend, and the PA, who is close friends of the main actor. And yeah, okay, Pink is texting me. In that order. So it's just the 4 of us in one table, and we looked at the menu, and they're like, you know what, let's share. So we ordered stuff like a fried squid with shrimp chips. I think we ordered a chicken dish, a sweet and sour pork, definitely. No, sweet and sour chicken. It was chicken, I believe. Essentially, it was 4 dishes. And we ate them, and then that's it. And then so the short film guy parked the car right here, where the white Honda is right now, and he's not supposed to do that. The cop showed up and gave him a ticket, and the waiter saw it, and they ran back into the restaurant and started screaming like "Cao Gan Pai, Cao Gan Pai," which means like the cops are giving a ticket. The cops are giving a ticket, and the short film guy, he stood up. He knows that it's him. It's his car. So he went out, and he spent like half an hour just driving around, and I was just eating the food. So there's that. After the dinner, we went back out, and it was raining, which is the worst thing that could ever happen. I was just grabbing my hair, like, just fuck, save all, you know. So we didn't know what to do, and at that point we were really late in schedule already. Also, the actress who plays the female demon, she arrived a little bit early than expected. She actually came and had dinner with us, because originally we were supposed to film these scenes before dinner, which is actually a terrible idea. I don't know why that is in the beginning, but now it's dinner first and then the nighttime scenes. And so the female demon actress showed up and came to have dinner. Okay, I'm gonna take a break here. I'm gonna grab a drink or something, and I'm gonna return. All right, I'm back. With half a cup of mediocre peach juice, which I regret drinking. Anyways, it was nighttime, and it was raining, and it was terrible. I checked my phone and looked at the weather reports. So prior to this day, I already thought, what if it rains? Because the weather report showed that it may rain on June 9th, but it wasn't certain. Or more so, it was certain, but you know, Hong Kong Observatory usually fucks up, and nobody really believes in the HKO, which is Hong Kong Observatory. And but it actually did rain, and it was messed up. One of the girls wanted to go to the bathroom, and I had an umbrella, and I was like, "Oh, do you need an umbrella?" So I gave the umbrella to her. But anyways, so the car, all the people, right? All the DP, the sound guy, the makeup person, a couple actors, drove to another spot. So if you can follow me all the way here to here, I'm getting to think that I messed up. And then I think right here, no shit, it wasn't this road. Wait, was it? No, it wasn't. It's right here. We drove all the way right here, and then right here we made a turn, and then there we go. No, wait. Hold on. Okay. Oh. Right, we're back. So, all right, here we go. This is it, MP Industrial Center, right? By the time we arrived, it temporarily stopped raining. And as you can see right here, the square bricks, the car park in the back, it's literally that exact spot. The pipe, the wall here. So the makeup artist set up a small makeup station right here. And we set up the camera, and at that point we're running out of time. So we had to film this shot immediately, where the main character just stares at the camera, and the camera zooms out. Now, okay, as you can see right here, it's zoomed super close, but actually, in actuality, it's not like that. See, in actuality, the camera wasn't actually able to zoom this out. So at first, we set up the camera right across the street. Right here. We set up the camera right across right here. There are no pedestrian walkways. And it was really risky because cars were still going. And even so, we weren't able to make this super close up. So at the end, the DP used a 4K lens and zoomed in as far as he could. And because it is 4K, I could zoom it in post-production and make the post-production zoom in and the real-time camera zoom in sort of smoothly sync up so that it looks like one big super zoom out. So which is essentially what I did. So as you can see right here, it zooms out for like 8 seconds. And then right here is something miraculous, right? So right here, Imagination Girl number 3 shows up. Okay, by the way, the girl beside the main character is Imagination Girl number 1. And then this is Imagination Girl number 3, and then I show up. I didn't tell anyone this. In the script, I didn't even say that I was going to show up. I didn't tell my parents this. I didn't tell anyone this, okay, other than the crew and the cast. On the day of rehearsal, I said I will show up because I like cameos, you know. Alfred Hitchcock does it. Peter Jackson shows up in his Lord of the Rings movies, you know. Stan Lee has his cameos, even though he's not the director. But I want to have cameos too, so I show up just for a bit. Now this shot is also really reminiscent of a Seven Samurai shot towards the beginning of the movie. Unintentionally reminiscent, that is. But this shot is actually really difficult to achieve. Like, so after this, by the way, filming this shot, we're literally in the middle of the road. And immediately after filming this, it started raining again. So we had to stop for a while. And then afterwards, it stopped raining again, and we had this. And so the cameraman was literally standing right here. The POV of the main character. And we were just walking. So I was standing here, standby, and then 2 girls were standing right here. And the short film guy was like doing this as a signal to signal the first girl to cross and signal me to cross and signal the second girl to cross. And that's difficult because if the camera pans over and see you start walking, then you fucked up because they shouldn't see you suddenly start walking. You should be already walking all along as the camera pans by. So this is actually a really tricky shot, probably the trickiest in the entire short film. Probably. But yeah, we finished this in like 5 takes. I don't know why, but every time I look at myself walk, it's just, there's just something real cringy about this. Okay, anyways, the main character stares at the first girl and they have a conversation. Again, I feel like one of the biggest issues with my short film is the lighting. I didn't intend the lighting to be like this. Maybe it's because when we scouted the location, it wasn't nighttime and we didn't know exactly what the lighting situation would be. But I mean, the lighting is fine here, but it wasn't really that great. Like, it just wasn't. But anyways, they had a conversation. Essentially, we have the main character, all horny and all needy, asking the girl, like, what are you doing? Are you waiting for someone? And then the girl responds, like, it's none of your business, none of your damn business. And the main character does something that I really like during the rehearsals, where he approaches her even further. And he didn't do that in the first like 4 takes during this shot. And I told him, you know, try to approach him approach her even further. So he actually did, and this is improvised. It wasn't in the script at all. But he pointed at the phone and said, "Can I have your number?" And that's actually hilarious. And the girl didn't even know that he was going to say that. And so she replied like, "Yeah, you're fucking crazy," and just walked away. And then we have this shot, which isn't even intended, and also like first of all, super high f-stop, also compressed, like narrow angle, and I wasn't a huge fan of that, but the short film guy said this shot is necessary in order to make the transition to the next scene. So eventually with this shot, he walks away, and then it transitions to the next scene. Again, this shot, okay. Now we finish this part, and the 3 actors can go. Now it's only the female demon and the main actor. So at this point, my parents had arrived, and they were looking at me, which is bad. But at this point, we changed our location to this street, which is a very narrow street. Perfect, dare I say, perfect for my short film. This street, perfect, absolutely perfect. It's claustrophobic, it's narrow, it's dirty, it's perfect for the climax. So again, this shot is not in my script. The short film guy wanted to film this shot to make the continuation smoother. So we had the main character walking, and now it transitions to this shot where the camera essentially follows him. And yeah, from this point on, it's all scripted until another point in the story. But he walks essentially, and then he hears sounds. He turns, and there's no one. He's like, okay, I'm just crazy. Continues walking. He hears sounds again. He turns, there's the girl. Fuck, he starts running. And then he runs, okay. I'm gonna stop here. Even though the trickiest shot was the panning one, this is actually the trickiest part. Because little did I know, I was a foolish man. It's actually real illogical. First of all, you can't film this in one take, because the female demon teleports. She teleports from this position to this position. If this is all shot in one take, that's not possible. So we literally cut it into several parts, which made it even more difficult to film because now we have continuity errors. Next thing is the logic itself. Now, originally my intention is that he sees her, but he thinks, oh, it's just a regular girl. Which actually, there's actually a shot where, there's actually a shot where he actually sees her. Right. Okay. I don't know why those shots are gone. Why are those shots gone from the project? Okay. I don't have it in the project, but there is a shot where she's actually standing right there, and that is my original idea. The female demon is standing right there. The main character is like, oh, just a girl, you know, I'm just crazy, just a girl. So he continues walking, which is kind of logical because he's very horny and needy. If he sees a girl, he would approach her, unless he is sure that she is the female demon. But if he's sure that he would be scared, then he would start running. But he didn't start running at first. Second of all, okay, this is the real issue. This is the real reason why we have to change this. In this shot, the girl's already right here, and the main character is walking. But actually, the camera can still kind of tell the two cars in the back. But hold on. Isn't the female demon supposed to be between those two cars now? But that's impossible because the female demon is literally waiting at the next spot. So this means I either have to use CGI and make two female demons in the same shot, or I don't. So at the end, I didn't. So at the end, there's no female demon in between those two cars at the back in the first spot, which is very frustrating. But yeah. Okay, anyways, in the second spot, he actually sees her. He starts running. This is another spot that really disappoints me. Little did I know that the street lights are going to be this powerful. The entire shot is yellow. I didn't want any yellow to be in my film, or at least I don't want a lot of yellow, but the street lights just too powerful. There's a lot of yellow now, and even with color correction, you can't avoid the fact that most parts of the screen is a literally warm color right now, which has the opposite effect of scary. Second of all, because of the street lights, I originally wanted this to be like a medium shot, but because of the street lights, if you put the camera near the actor, the talent, you can literally see the shadow of the DP and the camera on the main character's shirt, which is terrible. So this is the best. This is like the best the DP's got. Even at this point, you can actually see the shadow of the DP or the camera guy, aka the DP. I'm not that rich. But yeah, essentially that's our only choice. And then from this point on, it's all off the script, and it's all a short film guy's idea. So essentially, in my original idea, he sees the demon once, continues walking, sees it twice, scared, runs, trips and falls, and then the climax at the end. But according to the short film guy, it's not intense enough, and it's too short for the climax to feel earned. So essentially, he runs and he sees the demon girl the third time, and then sees her the fourth time, and then he trips and falls. Okay, and then he trips and falls. We had a plastic mat, and it was for the fall. But if we use a plastic mat, the camera cannot see the plastic mat, which means it has to be a medium shot. But if you use a medium shot, you would see the shadow of the camera. So at the end, we didn't even use the camera. We didn't even use the mat. The short film guy, he fell onto the floor to demonstrate that it doesn't hurt that much. So the main actor actually did it without a mat, no mat, wide shot. There's that. And then he starts backing up. And then after that, we did another shot here where it's just him. Now this is actually zoomed in post-production, because in the original shot, right here, this is supposed to be the height of the tension. He just saw the female demon the fourth time. He should be running like hell, but it's really slow. Second of all, this is supposed to be transitional to the imaginary sequence. So I wanted it to be close up to his face, but again, if you do close up, you're gonna see a shadow of the camera. You can't do that. So at the end, I just did it in post-production, which actually looked fine. I mean, yeah, the pixels, but you know what? It's fine. Transition, and then out, he falls. Okay, this is another really tricky point in the short film. He trips and falls right here. And at this point, I think I spent like 15 minutes just talking to the short film guy. And yeah, it just goes to show that when you're the director of a film, it's literally you against the world. it's like swimming against the current, because anything can go wrong during a production, and everyone and everything's going to try to resist against you, not because they hate you, but because not everything can go like you want it to be. So as the director, it is my job to stand up for myself and make sure that what I envisioned actually happens. Even though it is impossible that 100% of everything I envisioned come true. It is impossible, but at least I should try. So at this spot, he tripped and fall, and he saw the female demon. Here's the thing. Okay. This shot does not match this shot, because the shot of the female demon standing here is way into the street. So right here, right? Right, so she tripped and fall. So at this point, his POV should be just a bunch of cars and tires, which is like right here-ish, right here-ish. But I don't like this, because I want the climax to take place in somewhere that look a little bit more spooky, which is very important. If there are a bunch of cars behind the female demon when the climax happens, it's just gonna look fucking stupid. So we actually filmed the climax right here, right in front of these blue packets. So the location changed. And so originally the short film guy was like, no, we film it here. And I was like, no, this is not the right spot. So at the end, we went to the other spot. So I win. But now we have the problem where the main character trips and falls. But then when he turned around, he's literally in a different spot. So how do I not make it look jarring and completely out of place? I added this flash. So that it looks like there's a glitch in reality. This is the best I can do. But yeah, there's that. And then we have the climax, which is also not what I intended. The short film guy essentially wanted the female demon to close in on him, when my original idea is that the female demon is just going to stand, he's going to fall, that's it, static. But in the short film guy's version, the main character moves because he's really afraid. So he moves back. And also, if the main character, okay, so this is the spot. If the main character trips and falls, and the female demon is opposite him, it's gonna be street versus street instead of side versus side. Like instead of this and this, instead of this and this. Okay, I'm gonna use a better. Instead of this and this, right? It's gonna be this and this. It's gonna be parallel to the street, which means that there's gonna be a huge gap behind the female demon and a huge gap behind the main character, and it's gonna look bad. And it doesn't have that claustrophobic feel. Also, if there's a huge gap, then the main character can just turn around and run away. So it needs, I have to make the shot be like the main character literally was on the ground like this, sitting on the ground, and he had to turn his direction 90 degrees so that he faces the other side of the wall of the street. So he actually did that, right? He actually turned 50 degrees, and now he's looking at the side instead of looking forward, because the climax had to be walled in. So we have that figured out. Now we have the final. And this is the most key spot in the entire film. Okay, this bit is, it's really weird. I don't know if this is a short film guy's idea or my idea, but I feel like it's the combination of both. Where the short film guy's like, I think the short film guy was like, okay, I want the female demon to approach on both sides. And in my head, I was like, oh, so it's like Whiplash. Like, whip pans in Whiplash. Like, in Whiplash, the movie, there are a lot of these whip pans. And it's, like, perfectly edited. And also, it's kind of like Birdman, where, or in a lot of, movies, like 1917, where the camera swings very violently, and it's all a blur, you can actually hide a cut in there. So that's what I did. This looks amazing. I was really proud of this. It's not perfect. It could look cleaner, but it's as good as I can do. The last one was a little jarring. Okay, this shot wasn't my idea, but the short film guy said there needs to be a side wide angle to sort of show the full picture, and I actually used it. Now this is a telephoto lens, which I don't like. So a little bit later, we sat even farther back. The DP, short film guy, me, we sat even farther back, and we used a wide lens. But anyways, we have close-ups, and okay, this is actually my favorite shot. I really need a drink. Holy fuck, my throat is breaking. Okay, one moment. Usually when you ask a filmmaker what is their favorite shot of like a movie, like there usually is one, right? And you think it would be some sophisticated shot or some super beautiful shot, but no, my favorite shot is this one. Oh, this one. This is my favorite. One problem I encounter when I edit this short film is that a lot of the shots are too quick. And quick shots are good, especially when you're doing a horror movie. You need quick shots, quick cuts, quick edits. It builds tension. It creates an urgency. But some shots are just too quick. Like I wish that some shots are a little bit longer so that it has a weight. It has an impact. And that's exactly what this shot has. There's no fancy editing. There's no fancy camera movements. Main character right in the middle. He was sitting on the ground and then he slowly stands up. And there was nothing in the back. And I don't know, there's just something so heavy about this shot. Like you could actually feel the winds changing, the tides changing. Like you know that there's a huge turning point. Instead of running away from the female demon, it is at this point he has embraced his fate. And you can just feel the impact of this shot. Like this is my favorite one. This is my absolute favorite one, okay? And again, the lighting is not that good. I I really wanted like chiaroscuro, like film noir lighting, like Orson Welles, you know. But of course, I was broke, and even if I wasn't, I didn't have the knowledge to like set up lighting this sophisticated. But you know, it's still acceptable, you know. I'm gonna admit it. Alright, anyways, we have several close-ups of the female demon. Okay, so originally, during rehearsal, it's basically the female character, but the actress herself actually wanted to do more, like, scary moves. Like twitching her body and going up and down. And it's funny because this scene is literally taken from the Kairos movies, and in the Kairos movie, the female demon was also like going up and down and twitching. So she was, I don't know if she has seen that film or not, but she was unintentionally being like that. And I kind of like that, but I also kind of not like that, because now it's more and more like a derivative of the Kairos movie. Also, one problem I have with this actor, I can tell he tried hard, but he's too cartoonish sometimes. Like when you're scared, you don't need to act like you don't need to act like that. When you're sad, you don't need to act like that's too cartoonish. But okay, earlier in the film, he walked away, and there was a microphone attached to his shirt. I couldn't hear it, but he sighed. And I didn't like that. I mean, it would make sense for his character to sigh, but it's just too cartoony. Like, it's more mature. It feels more mature if the actors and the characters hold their emotions to themselves. It just feels more real and gritty. And then later, during the scene where he's backing up, this is like a second take. In the first take, he was like, and it was it was very cartoony. And right here, when he encountered the first demon, this right here, in the first take, or I think in the second take, he was mumbling like, it can't be real, you know, she's not real, I'm just imagining things. It's so cartoony. Even if you have these thoughts, you would say them in your head, you wouldn't actually say them out loud. And it wasn't in the script. And the sound guy heard him mumbling, and I also saw his mouth moving, and then yeah, it was bad. There was also a moment, I think right here, when he was backing up, where I said cut prematurely, because I thought the action is already over. And then the short film guy's like, no, you need to wait for a little while first. But there was another time during the run where the camera is literally exposed, and I said cut, and then the short film guy's like, what? And then I said the camera's shadow. So there's that. Okay, but anyways, all these walks, close-ups, originally I wanted close-ups on the hands and the feet, close-ups in the eyes, the lips, but a camera has its limits. A Sony has its limits. So at the end, it's just close up to the face, and then go. Bye bye. That's it. I like it when the text, the logo of the movie, just covers the entire frame. It's so threatening. It's like, this is the name of the film, look at it. I really like that. That's it. Alright, so we're done with the filming, and obviously, as I've mentioned, the makeup artist, aka the short film guy's wife, was really mad at me because she thought it's my fault for calling her so late. And yet, it is partially my fault. I'm the fucking director. But still, she was really mad, and she wanted more time to do makeup, which, I mean, I understand why. But, yeah, she was really mad at me for no reason. And at the very end of the shoot, she was like, ooh, so what lessons have you learned this time? Like, like she's a teacher and I'm a student. And yeah, again, I'm an amateur filmmaker, but this is not the first short film I've ever made. She thought it is, but it isn't. So, yeah. Case in point, she's mad. Okay, fast forward to July 7th. I've finished editing it already. First of all, the sound editing and the sound mixing is incredibly difficult and way more complicated than I thought. Because even with room tone, there are so many shots that just feel jarring. Because it sounds jarring between the dialogues and the the conversation between these two characters. Originally, it's supposed to be POV shot, but for time saving sake, now it's just one wide shot, which is actually good. I like the wide shot better, actually. But originally, it is supposed to be POV. I'm still filming. But the sound mixing is actually really difficult. There's all these wind noises in the back, and even though the mic is clearly better than your average secondary school mic, it's still like you can still hear some wind noises in the back. Footsteps. The mic didn't pick up any footsteps because it was really far away. Like during this shot, when we were doing the walking scenes, like this one, the camera was actually right here. Not the camera, the sound guy. So it could barely pick up any footsteps. So no footsteps. And right here, he's supposed to be running. No footsteps. I can't hear any footsteps. Which is realistic, because in real life your footsteps shouldn't be that loud, but in a film it feels like it should be louder. Next up, the edits are a little bit sloppy, like this turn right here. I don't know, I feel like no matter how I edit it, it just kind of looks kind of sloppy and awkward, which is bad. Music. This entire imagination sequence is completely silent, and there needs to be music, because otherwise, why the hell is it silent? So there's that, and then finally we have color correction. Fuck. Color correction is okay, so I actually opened up another file where I tried to color correct. Yeah, I color corrected this shot a little bit. Now, even without the LUT, it looks really good. I have to admit. Okay, this looks amazing, but only because this is a daytime shot. Now let's go to a nighttime shot. I tried my best, man. I tried to bring out the purple because I want purple for the short film, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel as good. It just doesn't. Okay, this is the comparison, right? Before, after. Before, after. I'm only recently learning how to color correct. As you can see, the purple tint, really intense purple tint. And also really intense shadows, which is important. You know, chiaroscuro, shadow, you know. Okay, this shot, it just doesn't look that good. It just does not look that good. Again, this is my favorite shot. But if you go to like some other shots later, like right here. Okay, this is the shot where the main actor does all this. Which is bad. But I use this shot to test out if I can color correct it. As you can see, it's still very fucking orange. No matter how hard I try to tone down the temperature, like to make the shot look colder and tint it with more purple, it still looks so fucking orange. It still looks very orange. It's infuriating. Okay, this is, again, it's so orange. And I literally used HSL secondary, which is something that I want to avoid, because whenever I use it, it just looks like a dumb camera filter. It just doesn't look natural. But I added some purple onto the gray, but it still looks so yellow. It's drenched in piss. Okay, but this shot looks really nice. This looks really nice. I really love this one. Okay, right. I also colored this one. This before, this after. Which is not bad. Before, after. Not bad. But yeah, the nighttime shots are really difficult for me to... Okay, this is my previous short film, Information Blackout. This before. And this is after. Yeah, this is a little bit too dark, but you know, obviously the colors are popping a little bit more now. Also, I don't know why the actress... Actually, she isn't even an actress at this shot. She's like one of the behind-the-scenes members, like a crew member. So she wore a black shirt, and then she's like, "Why not I play this character instead?" So now we have this really awkward scene. Also, you can see like parallels, like me as a person who had no romantic relationships before, directing people having romantic relationships. So ironic. And this thing is just drenched in piss. It's like Wong Kar-wai, but bad. But yeah, that is that. So that is the end. So I'm gonna just end it here. I know this is a long video, but it's a really good video, and I learned a lot about filmmaking. Even though this is only 4 minutes, it's nothing, but I feel like I've learned a lot more about production, planning, post-production, and it made me realize that even a 4-minute long short film can be this complicated, which is very headache-inducing. So if a 4-minute long short film can be this complicated, well, now it's 5 minutes. If a 5-minute long short film can be this complicated, a 2-hour long movie is going to fuck me in the head. So being a filmmaker is not easy. Also, filmmaking is a collaborative effort. So even if you're an amazing director, which I'm not, I'm nowhere near a good director, but even if I am, it doesn't mean the movie's going to turn out good, because you need the DP, you need the assistant director, you need the producer, you need the actors, you need the lighting, you need the editing to all come together perfectly, which is difficult. Anything can go wrong. But I can say with confidence that this short film is like 10 times, 20 times better than my previous ones. And speaking of which, I will be doing a video where I react to my previous short films. 2 videos for both of them. So I'm just gonna leave it here. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want more.